Will Forza Horizon 5 be added to PS5? This is an interesting topic I probably didn't think I was going to be talking about, but definitely something very interesting and seemingly likely nonetheless. If you guys haven't been aware, Forza Horizon 5 has had some news about being added to PS5, which was actually intended to pop up last year towards October and November. It's been delayed, but still seems to be very, very possible and quite likely before we see Forza Horizon 6. Now, I've been talking about Forza Horizon 6 and what we can expect for that for quite a while now, but overall, to give you a quick summary, it's very likely it'll be announced this June, just like every single other Forza Horizon game ever has been since Forza Horizon 1, and it'll probably be released from there around 3 to 4 months after, which has also been the typical cycle. If it were to follow suit of being announced every single June and it weren't to come out in 2025, that means it wouldn't come out till the end of 2026, and given Horizon 5 is soon to stop making updates after Series 43, it's very unlikely there'd be such a huge time lapse without any kind of new content. So in the meantime, it's possible Horizon 5 will be added to PS5, and I'll be discussing exactly why. Now, the first thing that comes to people's mind when you talk about PS5 on a game like Forza, which is owned by Xbox, is the fact that, well, Forza and Xbox overall interest is clearly towards the fact of commercializing Xbox's products. Since Xbox or Microsoft purchased Forza, just like a lot of its subsidiaries, for example games like Forza, Sea of Thieves, and even Activision and Call of Duty now, is to eventually, if not already for these games, make them Xbox exclusives. The overall purpose of this would be to benefit Microsoft and Xbox from console sales, the Game Pass, cloud gaming, and things of this nature. For games like Forza, it's more within Xbox's scope of interest and commercial interest to literally just use it as a tool to make more money through Xbox sales. This is the reason why all of these new releases will not actually be available on PlayStation. But the key word here is new releases. Forza Horizon 6 of course will not come out on PS5, it'll only be on Xbox and PC, where whether you're on Xbox or PC, they'll still be making money based off you playing the game via PC on the Microsoft Store. However, there's a very good opportunity for Forza to be able to add PS5 as an option for Horizon 5 very late in its game cycle to use as an extra quick cash injection and also to stimulate more hype in Forza Horizon 6, and I can go into more depth for this. In Forza Horizon 5, Xbox have already benefited from the concept of commercializing it for the purpose of getting more Xbox sales or general revenue for Microsoft as opposed to PS5 and Sony. They've already peaked off 95% of the player base in Xbox/PC on Forza. It's so deep in the life cycle that anyone that would have bought an Xbox in order to play Forza already would have. So at this point, there's no harm in capitalizing on a huge PS5 demographic whilst they're basically about to abandon Horizon 5 for Forza Horizon 6. Think about it, we've actually seen this with Sea of Thieves, which is also owned by Xbox and was a PC and Xbox exclusive. Last year, they made it a PS5, or they made a PS5 variation of this, and they sold over 1 million copies, making them over $30 million since just April last year. And this also led to them hitting an all-time peak in concurrent active players, which is pretty crazy how far Sea of Thieves is into the life cycle just by adding it on PlayStation. And of course, what's interesting about this is once PS5 players experience the Xbox exclusive games like Forza, Sea of Thieves and things like that, it makes them even more likely to buy an Xbox for the next game because it pretty much gets them hooked. Think about it, you're a PlayStation user and you've always wanted to play Forza. They finally make it available for you via Forza Horizon 5, you really like the game, then suddenly in around 3 to 6 months, Horizon 6 is releasing. You're going to be much more likely to go in and buy an Xbox or simply access a PC to play the game than you otherwise would have if you actually never got hooked into the game in the first place. It's a very good argument. For Forza, it's a good cash injection right before they finish up with Forza Horizon 5, and also gets a lot more potential PlayStation players hooked for the next release of Horizon 6. Not only making the money on Horizon 5, but also guaranteeing a lot more hype for Horizon 6 and consequential game sales for that game as well. It's pretty much a win-win solution. I mean, the same thing we'll see will be happening with Indiana Jones game, which soon will of course be a PS5 added version, just like we've seen the game initially be only for Xbox and PC, just like Forza. It's a very interesting overall concept and seems to be more and more likely by the day. There was a bit of circulation about this, like I said, towards the end of last year. It was meant to come out in October, November. There was a slight delay over that Christmas period, but I'd say it'd be very likely over the next 2-3 months, and I think it's a very good proposition. Or put a bit more hype back into Forza, make the game fresh again, and make Horizon 6 experience a bigger high than Forza Horizon 5 would have ever experienced in its first week of release with 10 million players just in that week alone. Imagine with PS5 players as well, it could be pretty significant. Let me know what you guys think, like and subscribe for more as I've got some pretty crazy news coming for Forza Horizon 6 soon as to where the map will be based.